Meeting will come to order. I'd like to welcome the audience to the April 19th, 2011 Parish Planning and Zoning Board meeting. Would you all please stand while Coach Williams says the invocation pledge.
Dear Lord, once again we come thanking you for another blessed day. Thank you for our life, health, and strength. Pray a blessing upon the staff and this board and those who have come to this meeting. And we'd like to take this special opportunity because we realize that this is a season for Holy Week, when you suffered, and you died, and you rose the third day, that we might have freedom and have salvation. And we just want to give you the thanks in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We offer this prayer. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. George, would please call the roll.
Chair David Connor.
Here.
Vice Chair Jake Porche.
Here.
Sally Williams.
here.
Mr. Frank Webb.
Here.
Mr. Ray Taylor.
Here.
Mr. Whit Baker.
Yes.
Miss Betty Brown.
Here.
Mr. Elijah Gilry.
Here.
John Duhon, Gary Navarre, and Latricia Caldwell absent.
Okay, thank you, Ms. George. With 8 members present, I will abstain on votes unless another member abstains, but you can go ahead and count me out on the roll call votes. This is an 11-member board. It will take a majority of those members present to grant or deny any request heard tonight. The meeting will be conducted with me reading the requests on the agenda. After a motion to approve and a second is received, the planning staff will clarify the request and report the recommendations. If the applicant would like to add to the staff for clarification, or if someone from the audience has comments, please come to the microphone and state your name, address, and the nature of your request. All persons wishing to speak, other than the applicants, need to fill out a blue card, request to appear card in the back. I recommend that a spokesperson be selected from their group that's wanting to speak on the same agenda item. The chair does reserve the right to limit speakers to 5 minutes. After discussion, the board will vote on the request. I will announce the decision of the board. All zoning exceptions and variances are final tonight. The meeting is being taped by the Calcasieu Parish Government Channel and can be viewed on Wednesdays and Thursdays following the meeting. All for additional run dates, you can check the website at www.cppj.net. That can be viewed on Channel 5 in Lake Charles and Sulphur, Channel 61 in Moss Bluff, Westlake, Vinton, and DeQuincy, and on Channel 99 in Carlos. If you'll all please turn your cell phones and pagers off, I would appreciate that. This time I'd like to recognize our police juror, Mr. Calvin Collins. We appreciate you being here, Mr. Collins. Thank you. Let's move on to item number 5. Take appropriate action to approve the minutes of the February 15th, 2011 and March 22nd, 2011 Planning and Zoning Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
So move.
A motion by Mr. Mr. Porche, and a second by Mr. Gilry. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 6, take appropriate action on case EX 05-005-11, a request by Alan and Judy Wood for a zoning exception to allow commercial development of fence company at 3840 Paul White Road in Ward 1. Do I have a motion for approval with stipulations?
Motion for approval.
Motion by Mr. Taylor, second by Mr. Baker. Ms. Wallace.
This property is located in Moss Bluff and encompasses approximately 2.31 acres of A1 zone property. The petitioners currently operate their business Knotwood Vinyl Fence Company at a lease space on Martin Luther King Highway. The Woods would like to relocate the fencing business to their home, and to do this they plan to construct a 40 by 60 metal building at this location, and they would store fencing products and equipment in the building. They don't plan to have any customers on site, and they also don't plan to have any signs advertising the business. All of the fencing orders would take place by phone. In order to do this, the petitioners need to be granted a zoning exception to allow commercial development, and the staff recommends that the request be granted with the stipulations that the development adhere to the site plan on file, that there be no outside storage allowed, that the appropriate development permits be obtained within 30 days of zoning approval, that an occupational license be obtained within 5 days of an issuance of a certificate of occupancy, that no mechanical, electrical, or other equipment which produces noise, electrical, or magnetic interference, vibration, heat, glare, or other nuisances outside the residential or accessory structure shall be used, that no more than one employee other than the residents of the dwelling shall be employed on site, that on-premise retail sales are prohibited, and that a small, unilluminated nameplate identifying the business cannot exceed 2 square feet. And those last 4 stipulations are straight out of the zoning ordinance and typically relate to home occupation uses.
Okay, any comments by the applicant? Comments are, okay, sorry, go ahead.
No comment.
Okay. Comments, questions by the board? I have a motion with a second. All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Item number 7 is deferred. What, did I forget something, Ms. Wallace? Okay, item number 7 is deferred. Item number 8, take appropriate action on EX 04-008-11, a request by Margaret Lovejoy for a zoning exception to allow a borrow pit, 10.3 acres on Highway 27 South in Ward 4. Do I have a motion for approval with stipulations? Motion by Coach Williams, second by Mr. Baker. Ms. Wallace.
I'm sorry, Mr. Connor. We need action from the board on item number 7. The applicant requested that it be deferred, but we need for the board to take that action formally.
Oh, for deferral? Oh, I'm sorry.
If
Okay.
you'd like, we could complete this case.
Yeah,
and then
we'll
go back
come back to item 7. My apologies. Okay, item number 8, Ms. Wallace.
This property is located in Carlos, and it encompasses 25.63 acres of A1 zone property. The petitioner would like a zoning exception to allow a borrow pit at this site. The borrow pit would be 10.3 acres, and approximately 75% of the dirt would be removed from the property, and then the pit would be used as a personal use pond upon completion. The staff recommends that the request be granted with the stipulations that the extraction and hauling be performed from daylight to dusk only, that the extraction is performed in accordance with the site plan on file, that the contractor take necessary steps to maintain dust control and prevent spillage from occurring on any public road, that the contractor not haul during inclement weather, that the developer will obtain a local development permit prior to hauling, that the exception will be subject to any requirements of the police jury regarding weight limits on affected parish roads, that the pond not be backfilled, that the development adhere to stormwater best management practices, that an application for and/or compliance with an LPDES stormwater sand and gravel pit or discharge permit through the Department of Environmental Quality may be required, and upon issuance of a development permit, the exception is for 14 months or when the excavation is complete, whichever occurs first.
Okay. Good. Any comments from the applicant? Okay, I've got a card from Mr. Ronald Vaughn on this case. Opposition, if you'll come to the microphone and state your name and address for the record.
My name's Ronald Vaughn. I live at 75, 19 Highway 27 South. The new house that you seen in the picture is mine just now going up. I'm just getting back in my feet right there from both the hurricanes. When they brought the pipeline through, they sandblasted me every day. There was more dust than you could stand. You couldn't stand to go outside. Now you're talking about putting a dirt pit in beside me. It's going to be there for months. We had to wash our cars just about every day, go out and wrench them off the house, everything, when they put the pipeline in. I kind of buried with the pipeline because I knew it was going to be a short time. Now you're talking about months. Not only that, they're taking the dirt from there and they're putting it on a levee on the other side of the lake. Next hurricane comes in, what's that going to do to me? All that water's going to come straight to us on this side. So I'm only going to eat dust, then I'm going to have more water on the next hurricane next time we flood.
Okay.
Has anybody thought about that?
Have any questions for Mr. Vaughn from the board? Okay, thank you, Mr. Vaughn.
Thank you.
Comments, questions from the board? All right, I have a motion on the floor. I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Gurry.
Is Margaret Lovejoy here?
I did call for the applicant. Is Ms. Lovejoy here? Wants to make any comments? Okay. Just state your name and address for the record, please.
My name's Sheldon McManus, with McManus Construction. Ms. Lovejoy is not here, but if this was to pass tonight, I would be purchasing the property from Ms. Lovejoy, and I would be digging the pit. We've got a contract with the state of Louisiana to reinforce the levee out in Big Lake, and we're needing some more material. We're running out of material at our current pit in Corliss.
So,
Did you have a question for me?
Questions of the
sir?
applicant? Go ahead, Mr. Gurry.
so you're digging a pit is this Big Lake here? Is this where this is?
Beg your pardon?
Is this Big Lake where you're digging a pit?
No, I don't think it's,
Yeah, that's not, okay, I'm confused.
The dirt would be going to Big Lake.
Okay, well, I thought he said the dirt was going to build a levee next to his house.
That levee in Big Lake.
Okay,
in Big
so it's
Lake.
two different locations.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Opposite side of the lake from me.
Sir, you've had your chance on the floor. Go ahead, sir.
It's to reinforce the levee that was there. Rita knocked it down, or shaved some of it off. It's to reinforce the levee to save the marsh. It's a state and federal project.
Okay.
so it is approved by the state.
Just a minute. Mr. Gurry has the floor. If you have any other questions. Mr. Taylor, go ahead. You want to speak?
Oh, you said it is approved by the state.
Yes, sir.
Project to.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Forshey?
Is there anything that you can do as a contractor to ease his concerns as far as dust control? Or are there measures that y'all can go to?
Yes, sir. We're going to probably, or we're going to put an access road into it, put a construction entrance with rock, have a water truck, and keep the dust down, as we do all the rest of our pits.
Good.
Okay. Any further comments or questions by the board? Thank you, sir.
I have a question.
Okay. For Mr.
Do we know for surely that flooding won't affect this gentleman's property? And it was a concern of his.
I can't answer that. I don't know. I mean, I know there was water there with Rita, and there was also water there. I think it was worse with Ike. I don't think anything that we're doing on the levee is going to cause it to be any worse. Actually, it's supposed to slow it down. Most of our water and our surge comes from the south. This levee will be south of him. It should slow it down. But I'm no expert in that. I can't say whether it will or not.
Okay. Any other questions?
I got one.
Go ahead, Mr.
McManus, once
Coach
this,
Williams.
Construction on that levee is complete, wouldn't that have something to do with helping the drainage too in it?
Would this have the levee have something to do with the drainage?
Yeah, to help the drainage.
No, sir. I don't think the levee have anything to do with the drainage. No,
Won't
sir.
affect it in any way.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, Coach Williams. Go ahead, Mr. Forshey.
The contract for the levee is through the state.
Yes, sir.
So I would assume that they have done their research.
Yes, sir, they have.
And determined that this is a good thing.
Correct.
For drainage.
Correct.
So the question here is mostly about the dust, and the concern.
Okay.
Do you have a question?
No, I don't have any questions. Anybody else have any questions? I'm sorry. I thought you asked.
No,
Mr. Taylor, go ahead.
Once the dirt is dug, and there will be a time before that pit fills up with water, I imagine, so that, it's full of dirt. Do y'all have plans to kind of keep that, that dust down after your completion?
After completion, really what our plans are is we're hoping to build some of that side up. Right now, it would be a flood area. Hope to build that side up and improve around it. It'll be a lake when we get through. It won't be a pit. It'll be a lake. And we hope to improve it, plant grass on it, put it up for sale. Someone may want to build out of it, because we'll have it at the elevation that is required to build in that area, in the front of it, the front portion of that.
Other questions by the board, Speaker? Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments by the board? Have a motion for approval. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Oppose?
Nay.
Have one nay? Okay. You want to do roll call? Let's go ahead and do a roll call, Ms. Christie.
Ms. Brown?
No.
Mr. Williams?
Yes,
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Baker?
Yes.
Mr. Webb?
Yes.
And Mr. Gilreath?
No.
5 for and 2 against.
Motion passes. Okay, let's go back to item number 7. Take appropriate action on case EX 04-006-11, request by Russell and Francis Bumgarden for a zoning exception to allow temporary commercial amusement, a snow cone stand at 1627 Eva Street in Ward 4. The applicant, I guess, has asked for this to be deferred, so I'll entertain a motion for deferral for this item for till next week. Motion by Mr. Gurry, second by Ms. Brown. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 9, take appropriate action on case EX 03-009-11, a request by Mark Desatel for a zoning exception to allow a borrow pit on 2.9 acres at 4071 Luke Powers Road in Ward 3. Can I get a motion for approval with stipulations?
Motion for approval.
Motion by Mr. Porsche.
Second.
Second by Mr. Taylor. Ms. Wallace.
This property is located in northeast Lake Charles and encompasses just over 20 acres of A1 zone property. The petitioner would like to dig a borrow pit where approximately 90% of the dirt would be removed from the property. Once the borrow pit is complete, the petitioner does plan to use it as a personal use pond. And in order to do this, the petitioner has to receive a zoning exception. The staff recommends that the request be granted with the customary stipulations. Plus, we have added one because of the location and the proximity to some curves in the road, that adequate signage must be installed as per the manual on uniform traffic control devices to ensure advance warning of trucks entering the roadway. And in this case, we recommend that the exception be for 5 years or when the excavation is complete.
Thank you. Any comments by the applicant? Okay, no cards. Comments or questions by the board? Okay, have a motion for approval. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Item number 9 passes. Item 10, take appropriate action on case EX 06-010-11, a request by Barry and Carla Hood for a zoning exception to allow commercial development of screen printing company at 3560 Anthony Ferry Road in Ward 6. Can I get a motion for approval with stipulations?
So move.
Motion by Coach Williams, second by Mr. Baker. Ms. Wallace.
This property is located north of Sulphur and encompasses approximately 4.9 acres of A1 zone property. The petitioners had a screen printing business located in Westlake that they have relocated to this property, and they are operating it out of an existing shop right next to their home. There will be no customers on site. There will be no signs advertising the business, and all orders will be placed by phone and internet. In order to do this, the petitioners need a zoning exception to allow commercial development, and the staff recommends that the request be granted with the same 8 stipulations that I mentioned before. Just for the record, let me run through those real quickly. That the development adhere to the site plan, no outside storage be allowed, that the appropriate permits be obtained, an occupational license be obtained, that there be no nuisances outside the residential or accessory structure, that there be no more than 1 employee, on-premises retail sales are prohibited, and that a small 2-square-foot sign is all that's allowed.
Okay, comments by the applicant? Comments by the board? Questions? A motion is second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Motion passes. Item 11, take appropriate action on case EX 03-007-11, a request by Jack R. Weaver for a zoning exception to allow residential development of manufactured home at 2352 Pecan Drive in Ward 3. I'd like to entertain for a motion for approval with stipulations.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Taylor, second by Mr. Porsche. Ms. Wallace.
I need to direct your attention to a revised brief that you should all have in front of you. It says revised at the top in red. We realized that when we were reviewing the cases one last time today that we had some of the historical information incorrect, and that's the middle section, but the body of the brief, the history on this particular application is correct, as is the staff recommendation. But the property is located in South Lake Charles and encompasses 1 acre of R1 zone property, and Mr. Weaver currently resides in a manufactured home on his property that has been there for some time. He intends to replace it with a new 16 by 80 manufactured home, and the current manufactured home was grandfathered in 1995 when the Planning Commission and the police jury voted to rezone the entire subdivision to R1 single-family residential, and the police jury and the Planning Commission did that at the request of the residents in the neighborhood. At that time, the staff did advise the Planning Commission, we have it in the minutes, that any future manufactured homes would need a zoning exception, which is what Mr. Weaver's request is before you tonight. Now, because the residents took such a proactive stance to change the aesthetics of their neighborhood, the staff feels that this request should be denied. Should the board grant the request, we do request that you add a couple stipulations, that the development adhere to the site plan on file, and that the manufactured home be skirted prior to utilities being connected.
Thank you, Ms. Qualis. Any comments by the applicant? Okay, go ahead, sir. If you'll state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Jack R. Weaver, and my address is 2352 Pecan Drive, Lake Charles, Louisiana. And first, I've lived in a mobile home for 50 years. And this present mobile home that I live in, I've lived there for 30 years. And when I first moved there, the only reason I moved there was because they said that I was permitted to have a mobile home there, and I could have it there for 25 years, and then that would be extended for another 25 years. But the people in there that, they had mobile homes, and they built houses. And then after they built houses, they said, well, we don't want no more mobile homes. Well, that's fine, but I'm satisfied with a mobile home. And the mobile home that I intend to purchase is much better than the one that I have. And the home, like I say now, is 30 years old. That's pretty old for a mobile home. But I've owned 5 of them. And of course, this one's a double wide, and there's a lot of room in it, but I just want another one, a small one by myself, and I want one that's small enough, or large enough for myself. And if you will approve it, I'd appreciate it. And thank you for your time.
Do I have any questions for Mr. Weaver before you go? Mr. Baker.
Mr. Weaver, what do you plan to do with this property in the future, this new mobile home?
I plan to live there.
Yeah, but I mean, further down the road than that.
Well, I ain't got many miles to go down the road.
But what I'm trying to get is your family's going to live in it?
I don't have a family, sir. I live by myself. My wife died doing Rita. And the mobile home was destroyed beyond repair. It's not worth repairing. I could repair it and let it sit there, but it'd still be 30 years old.
Yeah, you're right. I was looking for a solution here to tie it to him, and then when he's gone, then the property would have to be, the trailer would have to be vacated too. It couldn't be lived in or sold as such if we can do that.
Well, I don't. I have a family, but they don't live with me.
Yeah.
And certainly they're going to get whatever I have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And but
we'll think about it, Mr. Weaver, and see what.
Well, that's what I've asked you to do. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Weaver. We'll call you back up if there's any further questions. Okay, I've got opposition cards. I've got 6 people here, and I will allow you all to speak if you want to. I will ask you, though, because of this number, if you will come up and not repeat the same issues, just state your opposition, but not just give us new information when you come, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So let's start with Mr. Steve Vasilio.
Good evening. My name's Steve Vasilio. I live
I'm
at
sorry.
5151 Weaver Road. I'm right across the street from the trailer. Mr. Weaver's a fine fella. I've known him. We've been there for about 10 years. He's not residing in that trailer at this time. There's another gentleman who resides there. Okay, my opposition to this is that the covenants of the neighborhood, which is one of the reasons I bought there, was that no additional mobile homes would be permitted. Everyone who's built there has built a single-family, stick-built dwelling. Most of them are very nice, even across the street where they built apartments. They're extremely nice brick-built residences. Mobile homes generally indicate transients. This is a permanent neighborhood. We're raising children out there. We're not looking for a lot of transient population. And it would, besides the fact that it lowers your property values, which none of us need any help with that these days, I'm just not interested in having any more transient population in the area while I'm raising my kids, if possible. I have no objection to Mr. Weaver. Like I said, I think he's a fine gentleman. I just believe he needs to build a house on that property that fits the neighborhood. Thank you all very much.
Question, Mr. Facilio, before you leave? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next, I have Ms. Debbie Long. Thank you, Mr. Facilio.
No, I thought he lived in that place.
I live a house down from Mr. Weaver, and I know he doesn't live there, hasn't lived there for since Rita. I ran into his granddaughter one day at the store, and she said she and her husband were going to move there. I don't ever see anybody there on a consistent basis. It's every now and then. His son will go there. It's not every night. Last week he came, he put the garbage out. That was the first time the garbage has been put out since Rita. We had this with Mr. Weaver years back, even before we redid the zoning before. Mr. Weaver wanted multifamily. He moved his son in on a trailer, which we opposed, but it got passed anyway. When they decided that they wanted to build a home, she came down to my house and told me she would not buy a lot on our street because you could have trailers and you could have multi-trailers. So that's why we worked so hard to get it put back to single-family dwellings, and you couldn't put any more trailers on it. But I know for a fact no one lives in that on a day-to-day basis. I go by there 2-3 times a day.
Ms. Long, before you go, I was kind of talking to Mr. Porsche when you came up. Would you please state your name and address for the record, please?
Debbie Long, 2280 Pecan Drive.
Thank you. Any questions, Ms. Long? Thank you, Ms. Long. I'm going to move to Mr. Brashear, but I do have a card for Daniel Weaver. And Daniel, if you're here and you want to speak, I'll call you up whenever these others have spoken. So, Ms. Brashear? Okay, thank you. How about Anthony Landry?
Anthony Landry, 2314 Pecan Drive. I live next door to Mr. Weaver's dwelling, and like you said, the house is kind of tore up since Rita, but I live in a double wide, not right next to him, and I'm undecided if I'm going to build or put another double wide, so I'm not objecting to what he want to do with it. You know, he's, like I said, he don't have many more miles down the road here, and I don't see any sense for him building an expensive house put there. But if he put a trailer there and take care of it, I have no problem with it. They do have someone cut the grass. Like you see the yard is cut now. There's someone come by there about every 2 weeks, a contractor, I think it is. And I think his oldest son, I don't know if he lives there every day, but I see his van there 3 or 4 or 5 times a week. I have no problem with, like someone was saying, transit's coming in and out. That don't happen there, not in that neighborhood.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions or comments from Mr. Landry? Thank you, Mr. Landry. Mr. Bruce Long? Okay, thank you. Now, I do have a card on Mr. Daniel Weaver. Do you want to come up and speak?
I'm Daniel Weaver, 5713 Delord Lane, Lake Charles. I'm Jack Weaver's son. My parents have lived there for 30 years. Bought the property, it was a field. one of the first mobile homes to be put out there. A lot of mobile homes came afterwards. A lot of development in there. But if you look directly behind the house, there's a huge 30 or 40-foot tower. Somebody here had to put that tower there. Talking about, value of property. At the end of the street, there's a shop. No home, just a shop at the end of the street. You drive through the neighborhood, there's mismatched buildings. So from a resident, I live in a zoned residential, okay? My house, my garage, all those are bricked. The exterior all looks the same. This is a mixed residential area. You've got a trailer park directly behind there. You've got a trailer park which is to the north, which is Jesse Dub James. You got a trailer park to the east, which is South Turner. So to deny my father a place that's been his for 30 years, to do what he wants to do with it, with a mobile home, with a piece of property that he keeps up to date. He keeps the grass cut, he hires people to go in there and do that, he pays the utilities on it, there's water running on it, the septic is clean, it's been certified. I ask that you grant him permission to put a mobile home. Thank you.
Sir, Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
I have a
Question
question
for
for
Mr.
you.
Taylor.
A couple times it's been mentioned that the son lives there, or the son's there. Is that, are they talking about you, or is there?
No, sir, I have a residence at 5713 Delord Lane. That's my older brother.
Okay.
And he does have residence at that house. Mostly to keep someone in the house and keep the house, from people breaking in and stealing stuff. My parents' stuff is still in the house.
They've also stated that your father doesn't live there. Is there any reason why he doesn't live there? Is it because the damage to the trailer, or?
The house leaks. It's unfit. He's 84 years old. He can't get up those steps, like he used to. The decking up there needs to be replaced. It's weak. So yeah, after Rita and we cleaned up the yard, it was a total mess. He lost major trees, spent most of his money cleaning up the property. He doesn't have the money to fix that house, okay, and still have a 30-year-old house. The money he could invest in redoing that, he could buy him another trailer. So yes, my father lives with me.
Okay, so he does plan on moving back into the house, not some granddaughter, whatever?
That's his plans, yes.
Okay. Do you understand?
He's still independent. He doesn't require me. I travel all the time for my business. I'm gone for weeks on time. He takes care of himself. He still drives. He's still very independent. And I'd like for him to keep his independence.
Okay.
Any other questions for Mr. Weaver? Okay, thank you, Mr. Weaver.
Thank you.
Questions, comments by the board? Okay, I have a motion for approval. Want to do a roll call, Miss Christie?
Ms. Brown?
No.
Mr. Williams?
Yeah.
Mr. Taylor?
It's a motion to approve. Look at it.
No.
Mr. Porsche?
No.
Mr. Baker?
Yes.
Mr. Webb?
No.
And Mr. Gilreath?
Yes.
3, 4, and 4 against.
Motion fails. Item 12, take appropriate action on case VA 04-005-11, a request by Menace Lee Jr. for a zoning variance to allow residential development with less than required public road frontage. Required is 100 foot. They're requesting 53 feet on Nolan Bunch Road in Ward 4. I'd entertain a motion for approval with stipulations.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Williams, second by Mr. Baker. Ms. Wallace.
This property is located north of Sulphur and encompasses a 1.4 acre tract of A1 zone property. The petitioner would like to place a new manufactured home on this property for his daughter to live in. And in 2009, the petitioner had actually divided his original lot into 2 lots. And one of those lots, according to this survey that's on the screen right now, one of those lots was still legally compliant with the road frontage and the square footage requirements. But this particular lot is the lot with 53 feet of road frontage. And that small amount of road frontage makes it non-compliant with our regulations. Because of this, Mr. Lee would have to have zoning approval for his daughter to move the manufactured home on the property. The staff recommends that the request be granted with the stipulation that the development adhere to the site plan on file and that the manufactured home be skirted prior to utilities being connected.
Thank you, Ms. Wallace. Question, or, I'm sorry, comments by the applicant?
No comment.
Okay. Comments, questions by the board? I have a motion for approval. Second, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 13, take appropriate action on item VA 01-006-11, a request by Karen Nipping for a zoning variance to allow a second dwelling on one lot, a manufactured home on Paul White Road in Ward 1. Ward 1, I will accept a motion with, for approval with stipulations. Mr. Porsche. Second by Ms. Brown. Ms. Wallace.
This property is located in Moss Bluff and encompasses 3.17 acres of A1 zone property. This piece of property, when the petitioner purchased the piece of property, it only had this 30-foot right-of-way that gives it frontage on Paul White Road. So basically what I'm saying is that she purchased a non-compliant lot, and the police jury has been able to issue her a permit to move a manufactured home on the property. But when she came in to ask for a second permit for her son to move a 16 by 80 manufactured home on this lot, that was a problem. And to be able to proceed with those plans, she would have to have a zoning variance to allow 2 dwellings on one lot. The staff recommends that the request be granted with the stipulations that the development adhere to the site plan on file and that the manufactured home be skirted prior to utilities being connected.
Thank you, Ms. Nipping. You want to speak, please? Okay. Questions, comments by the board? A motion for approval. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Nay. Motion passes. Item 14, take appropriate action on case VA 03-007-11, a request by Herbert and Bunice Goche for a zoning variance to allow a second dwelling on one lot, a manufactured home at 3923 Railroad Avenue in Ward 3. Entertain a motion for approval with stipulations. Mr. Gurry, motion by Mr. Gurry, motion, second by Mr. Porsche. Ms. Wallace.
This property is located in Mallard Junction and encompasses .16 acres of R2 mixed residential zone property. The Goches reside in the house on the property, and their daughter had resided in a 16 by 80 manufactured home that was also located on the property. And the Goches would now like to replace that manufactured home with a new manufactured home. This property, because it's located in the Mallard Junction Water and Sewer District, is served with public sewer and water. And to move forward, the petitioner would need a zoning variance to allow 2 dwellings on one lot. The staff recommends that the request be granted with the stipulation that the development adhere to the site plan on file and that the manufactured home be skirted prior to utilities being connected.
Thank you. Any comments by the applicant? Comments, questions by the board? A motion for approval. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Motion passes. Okay, item 15 has been withdrawn. Do I have to do a motion on that? Okay, just want to make sure. Next item on the agenda is to advise that the police jury took the following actions on March 24th, 2011 with reference to the recommendations of the Planning and Zoning Board, March 22nd, 2011 meeting. Lee case was upheld, Vasilio case upheld. Item 17, next item on the agenda is to advise that the next regular scheduled Planning and Zoning Board meeting will be held on Tuesday, May the 17th in the police jury meeting room here at 5:30. Have a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Second, we are adjourned.
Good job.